Monte's father called me in, and there were 2 guards outside his office. They took my phone before I went inside, and he said things were getting messy, and that I needed to know the truth. So here it is, the way he laid it out. Not emotional, just fact. The truth about everything I've been wondering from the beginning. Trinity went to Adak in Alaska after grad school on a research fellowship. Officially, she was studying contamination left behind by the Navy, radioactive soil, fuel leaks, heavy metals. But she pushed further. She found anomalies in immune responses in people still living near the base. She convinced herself she could isolate a strain and turn it into a vaccine. That footage I saw, the coughing, the collapse, that was her experiment. And that's when Trinity's mother found out. She traced the budget lines, saw how much money was being buried, and she called Trinity and said she was flying to Adak the following week to shut it all down. She told Trinity to wrap up the project and get rid of everything, but Trinity let her ego get in the way. She panicked. She paid someone to tamper with her mom's plane. He showed me her bank transfers, dates, notes, all in her name. Maintenance flagged the plane issue. They told him they could wait a week and play it safe, but he said no, push it through, it's fine. So the plane took off, and it never landed. It crashed. He knew about it, and he just allowed it to happen. Trinity lived with the guilt, and he let the wreckage carry him into office. He went from widower to governor. He's not in office anymore, but that doesn't mean he's done with politics. I mean, look all he's done to gain this power. So now he's shaping Monte to be the next big thing, or someone else, if Monte doesn't follow through. And so the last thing he told me was, you know what happens if this comes out, so make sure it doesn't. The office was quiet. It was late, and Monte was still pacing, restless, asking questions I couldn't answer. And I knew if I didn't redirect him, he'd dig. And if he dug, oh, he'd find everything. So I wrote for him. He wrote about housing, justice reform, systemic overhaul, pages of language I knew he'd believe but wouldn't really care to understand. The kind of rhetoric Trinity used, sharp, urgent, restless. I told him she'd given it to me weeks before, asked me to look it over, said it was important. He read it in silence, his eyes moving slow, kind of half shut like he hadn't slept. When he looked up, he said, "This is it. This is what she wanted." And I just nodded, because I'd made it so. The truth? It was fake. It was just a distraction. But it bought me time. It bought me time to keep Monte away from the truth. And it kept me safe. Monte read the fake pages. He kept mouthing the words like he was trying them on, and for the first time, Trinity's ghost had shape. Housing, justice, systemic reform. All of it was now his. He stopped asking me questions. He just rehearsed line after line until it sounded like he'd written them. We weren't really talking. I just watch and nod lately. The silence between us said more than words. At one point my phone buzzed. It was Lucian texting me. He said, "He listens to you. Don't waste it." Monte kept reading. His voice kept getting steadier, but his eyes were somewhere else. I think deep down he knows that there's something else going on, but that this is the only way out. Lying, faking it, putting up a facade. Anyway, I don't think he was practicing anymore. He was becoming it. The apartment was silent. Monte sat in front of the mirror, lips moving without sound, repeating lines over and over, the plans I'd given him. He thought they were Trinity's ideas, that they were her legacy, and so he looked different now. He wasn't the party boy from the car wash anymore, not the brother who joked his way out of grief. Every gesture was rehearsed, every pause calculated. Maybe too much. It made me wonder, was he practicing for himself or for the audience? Sometimes I even wonder the same for myself. Am I living for myself, or am I just putting on a show that other people want to watch? Nothing feels real anymore. Our bodies melt into microwaves, and metropolitan chaos trips me. But the flames are so beautiful, I can't look away. The night keeps me going, and I don't know if I'm floating or just finally letting go. But right now, I'm good here. I close my eyes, and I think of the ocean, and everything fades away. All my troubles, they seem so far away. But then I open my eyes, and it's just me again, standing in this apartment, just waiting for a sign that the sky won't break. His blazer was draped over the chair. I went to move it and felt the pocket heavy. So I reached in. I found that Polaroid, the one from that night in the car. And that made me feel too many things. I can't believe he kept it all this time. The night before the election, I sat alone in the hotel room. Monte was down the hall. We'd rehearsed every line of his speech, briefed the donors. I should have been nervous, or excited, or something, but I just kept staring at the folder in my bag, the one labeled for after. No one knew I'd written it, not even Monte. It was a play, just a draft. It was a fictionalization. The names were changed, events rearranged, but it's the truth, and it's all there. I told myself it was just for me, just in case. But maybe I always knew someone would find it. Maybe I wanted someone to find it. This isn't the version you saw on stage. That's the mask. This is the story I wasn't supposed to tell.